And we say happy Sunday to everybody out there. What's going on? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media post game, LSU, FSU, and what a classic this was. The scoreboard looks like as if LSU just didn't have enough. But I can promise you, if you go back and you watch this game, you could tell both teams were giving it everything on both sides. They were fighting tooth and nail, trying to get the football on defense, trying to punch it in on offense. 45 to 20, 45-24, I'm sorry, is your final score. LSU falls again in week one to the Seminoles. I think going into this game, I'm sure a lot of people looked at Jaden Daniels and what he did last year. And I don't blame anybody for it. But you look at what he did last year for LSU, beat Alabama, made it to Atlanta, played the Dogs. He did all this great stuff. And then going into this year, it's like, oh, he should be like a Heisman candidate. He should be and he can still be that. I don't want anyone to look at this game and put blame or anything on Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels played his tail off tonight. He did great. Let's take a look and compare the quarterbacks because Jordan Travis just did a little bit better, and that's what it came down to in this game. So you look at this game. Let's start with Jaden Daniels and LSU. 22 of 37, 347 yards, one touchdown and a pick. But the difference maker was Jordan Travis and the explosiveness of Florida State. And this is no pushover defense for LSU either. They have some dudes on that defensive line. They have some guys on the back end. They got Harold Perkins. They have all this great talent. This is no pushover team. Jordan Travis, what did he do? Well, he had 5 touchdowns in the game, 4 passing, 1 rushing touchdown, 23 of 31, 342 yards, and a pick. So you look at that and you look at this game, it was really great to see. And in the fourth quarter, by the way, late in the game, you could see some more explosiveness from the LSU offense. Keon Coleman right out the gate in the first quarter. Of course, he transfers in from Michigan State to the Seminoles. 40-yard pass from Jordan Travis. Ryan Fitzgerald gets the extra point, a 9-play drive, 86 yards. Trey Bradford ran it in for LSU a little later on. In the second quarter, LSU outscores FSU 10-7. It is 17-14 at the half. And then Florida State goes on this run of 10 points in the third. But we'll get to the fourth quarter in a second. They got a 33-yard field goal from Ryan Fitzgerald on a 9-play drive. One of those drives that just kind of looked like they were going to punch it in. But then LSU's defense stood up tall at the end and forced a 3-and-out. Jordan Travis, later in the third quarter, like 7 minutes later on a 3-minute drive, almost 4 minutes, 7 plays, 87 yards, he punches it in and runs it from a yard out. Then in the fourth quarter, Jaheim Bell goes off, but also the Michigan State transfer, Keon Coleman, gets his second touchdown of the night. He had a 7-yard touchdown pass from Jordan Travis right in the back of the end zone. 8-play drive, 57 yards, 4.5 minutes on the drive. Jaheim Bell with a 44-yard touchdown pass from Jordan Travis on a 3-play drive. Just very explosive in that fourth quarter. And you would think, by the way, Jaheim Bell ran it in for 4 yards with like a minute and a half left. Then LSU got one late from Brian Thomas, a 75-yard pass from Jaden Daniels. So you could kind of see there that LSU at the end was explosive with that touchdown pass that they had. They were not going to give up, but it seemed like the grit, the intensity, the toughness, the I'll just say the word physicality. Grandma's going to kill me later. Anyway, that Florida State had, it was incredible. LSU's defense could be one of the best this year. Florida State was just a little bit better on the defense. It came down. It wasn't, well, this defense is terrible. Are you looking at the offense? Are you looking at what they're doing? Take a look for yourselves here. Take a look for yourselves. 45-24. Let me double check the comments real quick. I want to say what's up to Elijah Allen. What's going on, buddy? And Jacob Watson. What's going on, guys? We got a couple people watching. We got 4 watching right now. And it's looking pretty good. We got what's going on, Texas and Clemson fan account. Alabama wins 48, Texas 17. It's a good score, but I think it'll be closer than that. Anyway, sticking to the, Garnet and Gold Seminoles. Now, remember, I believe Florida State won this game last year, and look what LSU was able to do. They were motivated. They were kind of pissed off a bit and took it all the way to the SEC title game. Made it and competed a little bit with Georgia, put up 30 points in that game. I'd look at this game tonight as a statement win for Florida State. I don't think LSU did anything wrong, really. I mean, a couple penalties here or there, but I don't think that there should be much blame on. Like, there's going to be a lot of people looking at Brian Kelly like, bro, what happened? I don't think you should get mad at Brian Kelly. I really don't. I don't think you should place blame. I don't think you should. This was like last year's game with the offenses a little bit and some defense. LSU got 20-something points last year, 23. The game was 24-23, Florida State. LSU, a little bit better, going to be great this year. It was just more explosive. Like, the LSU didn't have the defense they had last year when you look at how they performed in this game and you compare it to now. Florida State's got some firepower on offense. Now, is it going to be like 2020 Alabama? Is it going to be 2019 LSU? I am not going to hype it up. I'm not going to hype it up. I will say I'm excited. Very excited for Florida State. But I'm not going to hype it up. I'm going to be calm, be cool, and take it one game at a time. Let me check some comments here because we do want to get to some of those. We don't want to be on here too long either. It is kind of late. Flamin' Sports Media, what's going on, buddy? He's an LSU guy. Says we lost due to poor defensive play and receivers not knowing how to catch. I would agree. Jaden Daniels gave it everything he had tonight. Offensive line kind of faltered a little bit too. Defensively, you guys were not well coached. Receivers wide open, not turning at the right time, just dropping passes that Jaden Daniels could have had on his, record tonight. That probably would have helped in the game. Flaming Sports Media with another comment here. He says Harold Perkins should have never switched positions going on 4th down. The first time was cool, but the second time we should have took our 3. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Not sure what you mean by that. Anyway, we'll keep it going with the comments a little bit. Again, we don't want to be on here too long. It is almost 11 o'clock here in Alabama. But again, a 45-24 victory tonight for the Florida State Seminoles, who I'm very high on this year. I might go ahead and we got to see, we got to watch Duke and Clemson tomorrow night. But I think I want to take Florida State in the ACC. They might go 12-0. It might make the college football playoff again. They haven't been back since the debut of the playoff, but they've been there, done that. Just didn't win the playoff game against Oregon. Can they make it to a national title? Are they that team? It's time to put some respect on Mike Norvell. Time to put some respect on Jordan Travis. This team is going to be on a mission this year, and it's going to be something special. I feel it. I can see it. It's time to kick back and ride the train. Anyway, so again, a really great game tonight. It was, I would call it, I'd call it a classic for Jordan Travis and the Florida State offense. I don't want to keep hyping up the quarterbacks. I hate when people do that. Keon Coleman had 3 touchdowns. Trey Benson carried the ball pretty good. When you look at total yardage too, let's go to real quick team stats here, and we'll zoom out. Okay. So you look at these numbers, Florida State held on more time of possession, kept Jaden Daniels on the bench, only had 1 turnover, 22 first down. LSU beat them in first downs, and that was it. More yards for FSU and 1 less turnover. More time of possession. When you look at it, I think there's things like this fumble that they lost that LSU wishes they had back. They threw an interception. Florida State threw an interception too. Just more yardage, just more explosiveness on the offense. They were physical on defense, especially towards the end of the game. Gave up 1 late touchdown that didn't really mean much to LSU. This almost was a 45-17 game. But that fourth quarter, I'm telling you that Jordan Travis, he went off. Is there a link, says Jacob. I'll drop the link. Yeah, if anyone wants to come on and talk about this game, we can do that. Let's not turn it into much of a hangout, but I'll drop the link if you guys want to come in and give your thoughts on the game. We'll try to take it one at a time. But I'm very surprised at I had picked LSU. I didn't make a preview video or nothing, but like I had a feeling this was going to be a big year for the Tigers. And it's not over. It could very well still be that type of year. All this is just a loss. It's just a loss. All LSU has to do with this game is learn what they did wrong and correct it for the next game. And then sit back and watch Florida State. And if they meet again in like a title game or the playoffs or something, see how you can beat them. See how you can stop them. We'll give it a few minutes if Jacob wants to come on here. He always has good insight for us. And I miss talking with you guys, man. I've been working a lot. This happened to get tonight off and got to watch the game. Had some friends over, had some barbecue barbecue and that. So yeah, it went very well. Great day. But I've said everything I've needed to say other than, again, Jacob asked for the link. So I dropped the link. We'll give him a few minutes. If he doesn't show up by like 11:05 or whatever, I'm just going to cut the stream off. So Central Time, by the way, I say when I say 11:05. Double check something real quick. AIP, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, we kind of talked about it. I think it's one of those where LSU had some mistakes, but at the same time, you give a lot of credit to Florida State tonight and what the Seminoles and Mike Norvell were able to do, and Jordan Travis, and especially what Jordan Travis did. Man, he just, again, like he went off and 23 of 31, 342 yards and only a pick. He rushed for a touchdown. He had 4 passing. Keon Coleman was the main go-to guy tonight. Trey Benson looked pretty good at running back, so you just give him a lot of credit there. Adam Woodard, roll tide, buddy. Good to see you, man. All right. We don't want to turn this into a hangout, but we do have Jacob in the back room. Let me turn my volume up and we'll get you on, buddy. What's up,
What's going
dude?
on, Ballard?
Been a little bit, man. How you doing?
Good. Am I the only one in here? My screen's a little bit, you know.
You're the only one on here with me, but we have people
Oh,
watching.
yeah. That's. Well, I was thinking, man. Wow, that. I did not expect LSU to get beat like that. I mean, like, damn. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah. I mean, usually the more talented team is not. You know.
Now, do you think it's one of those? Is it one of those where LSU shot themselves in the foot, or did Jared Verse and company for FSU show up on defense?
I. I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I always give credit to the winning team, of course, but I mean, LSU really. I mean, I just don't know what happened. I mean, that interception just when that interception happened, I thought that LSU was in trouble. Until then, I thought they were still going to win the game, and I picked them to win the game. I mean, I thought LSU was the better team. You know, and to see a team get drugged like that in the fourth quarter with more talent that and more depth, that usually doesn't happen. So maybe they just.
How's it going, Ballard?
What's up, AIP? How you doing?
Doing good. So, I just have one question, but what do you think about LSU's loss to Florida State? How do you feel about that?
Overall, well, like I said a couple times already, I think it's more so like LSU made some mistakes. You're going to make mistakes in a game when you lose, but Florida State just wanted this game a little bit more. I feel,
Wow.
and I think Jordan Travis wanted to make a statement.
Yeah, I feel that Florida State is heading to the right direction. I also think they could beat Clemson this year and probably win the ACC championship.
I still got Clemson beating them and winning the ACC, but yeah, Florida State looks really good.
Yeah,
Florida State won this game because they kept trying to run it up the middle, in the first half, and that
LSU's
just
defense couldn't stop Jordan Travis.
yeah, but you know, well, what they couldn't stop was those wide receivers. They were open all game, but
Yep.
yeah, Jordan Travis played well too. I mean, they were dropping the ball in the first half. Second half, they started catching it, and
Yeah.
they were deadly on those jump balls. LSU was getting pushed around with that.
Yep.
Just big wide receivers. The biggest thing that surprised me is I thought LSU was going to get some more pass rush. I mean, it was pretty equal between them and the pass protection for Florida State, but I thought they'd have an advantage there, and it just didn't look like that. It looked more 50-50.
I mean, it was a close game first half, but then in the second half, it just got ugly in the second half.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and I think LSU kind of, be honest, he kind of gave up in the fourth quarter. I just,
Yeah.
you know, uh,
did y'all see? I don't want to stray away too much from tonight's game, but earlier this afternoon, I mean, I want to put some props on. I know it's San Jose State, but Oregon State looked pretty darn good with Uyunglele. I don't know if
Really?
y'all got a chance to watch that.
Um, I watched that a little bit, but I didn't really get to have a chance of watching the whole game though.
Yeah.
I
He
didn't.
was he had 3 touchdowns and 239 yards.
Yeah.
I saw some of the game, and he played well.
Yeah.
That San Jose State quarterback. He needs to be playing for a Power Five team. A couple of teams can use him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did y'all saw that Florida lost to Utah? I mean, I know that Utah's a little bit more of a good team, but I just felt like it was funny to see Florida lose to Utah. I mean, Graham Mertz, the quarterback, is just terrible for the Gators.
Well, no, Graham Mertz played. Honestly, he played pretty good. That game. To be honest with you, I mean, it was more that offensive line. That offensive line was awful. And
Yeah.
Florida's offensive line, I think they're gonna
Well,
have a lot of issues
a
this year.
lot of people don't think that Graham Mertz is that good. So
Well, I don't think he's that good either. I think he played good that game, though.
yeah,
I thought he was at least decent, but not good
I mean,
enough.
for Graham
That
Mertz level, I think he
Wisconsin.
was pretty good.
yeah,
I wanted at least for his Wisconsin, tryout and all that when he was there. I wouldn't say he was terrible. He just he didn't stand out.
Did y'all see that Oklahoma destroyed Arkansas State 73-0? Did y'all see that?
No, not. I mean, I saw a play or two, but I didn't. No, I wasn't paying attention to
Did you
that.
see where Oregon put up 81? I know who they
Yeah,
played, but like
yeah, Oregon.
that's impressive.
Yeah, Oregon scored 81. I mean, it is impressive.
I
Um,
mean, I don't want to take anything away from that, but there's a lot of teams that could score 81 on these FCS schools, and they choose not to.
yeah,
Right.
So not taking anything away from that, but I mean that a lot of teams could do that. I think
yeah. I
so. It
mean,
doesn't mean as much to me, to be honest.
yeah. Well, just because some teams score 70 or 81 points, that doesn't mean they're going to make it to the playoffs or anything.
Yeah, yeah. Oregon's a good team though, but I that that doesn't have much of an effect on me. Now, if like Vanderbilt were to do that, that'd mean a little bit more. But Oregon, not so much.
What's up, Mayhem Matthew?
Yeah, I just came on here to eat my crow.
Oh, did you pick LSU?
Uh, I said FSU was a fraud. Yeah, so just
he
come
he
here.
had a whole touchdown Tuesdays episode where he was ripping on Jordan Travis and company and saying how I need to see it, and they play in the ACC and they're not good and
Wait,
this
hold
and
on. I'm
do
sorry.
this.
You're ripping on Jordan Travis.
Yeah, I thought he had like a miracle season last year. He was overrated, but
I
I'm
don't know
here.
how you think that. I
I'm
mean,
here. I'm here to eat my crow. I don't back down. I'm
Yeah.
here.
Part of me actually wanted LSU to win just because Florida State struggled against a terrible Oklahoma team last year in the bowl game. So that was the reason why I wanted LSU to win, just to prove how overrated Florida State is. But I guess Florida State's not overrated after all. So I guess
Exactly.
they're a good team now.
Exactly.
Florida State, they got some really good wide receivers. I'll tell you that.
Keon Coleman is him.
Yeah, Florida State's wide receiving core is one of the best in the country. I knew they were good, but
Coleman.
wow.
Keon Coleman, the transfer from Michigan.
Johnny Wilson as well.
Well, Keon Coleman's better than Johnny Wilson, hands down.
Well,
But
okay. Well,
Johnny Wilson,
I'll say Johnny Wilson's good too, but
yeah, he's good. He did have a couple drop passes, but
yeah, he did.
Jaheim Bell, he had a touchdown pass.
Yeah, transfer from South Carolina.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yep.
he had a few drop passes too. But Keon Coleman is him. And I don't know what their. I think his number is like 87 or something. That tight end, amazing. He ain't no Brock Bowers, but he's good.
Let's give Mike Norvell some credit too. In the first half, they had some problems running the ball, and then they switched to some zone blocking schemes and running it to the edge a little bit. They got something going. Two running back sets, and so let's give him some credit too for making that adjustment and running it up to the middle to that.
Yeah.
But anywho,
I just thought, what really helped out, because I think LSU, they're going to get it fixed. They're going to have good defense. So it's not like they played a scrub defense. I mean, they got some dudes there at LSU. What really helped out this offense, man, did you guys notice how strong and physical that offensive line was pushing those guys around
For Florida State,
for Florida State?
yeah, I mean it was pretty equal through the first three quarters. Then the fourth quarter, they really started to push them around a bit.
Yeah.
Harold Perkins is a great player, but he's got to get stronger. I mean, he's getting pushed around in the run game a little bit here. I just
Yeah.
well, anyways, I'm gonna let y'all go. I gotta make my crow video. So,
All right.
thanks,
All right. See
thanks
you,
for
man, Matthews.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so it was
As
Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman had 3. Jaheim Bell had 2 tutties tonight. So
Oh.
they need Mason Smith back for
I mean,
LSU.
I
yeah,
kind of feel very sorry for the LSU fans. I bet they're very desperate about that loss. So
Yeah,
I just don't know if LSU's going to get any better after this.
I mean, I think they will. I mean, they did. I thought they would last year after the first loss, and I was right. And
Yeah.
I think they'll get better. Every team usually gets a little bit better, at least, unless they quit on their coach and all that. But
Yeah.
getting Mason Smith back next week, which that really could have helped him out this game if they had him. But,
Yeah.
yeah, this is wow. All right, looks like Florida State is legit.
Yep.
LSU's got to go
I'm
back to the
gonna
drawing boards.
go ahead and book Florida State, Alabama for my national title.
Who is your national
Let's
title
go.
prediction?
Right now.
Yeah, well, before the season, but
Before
yeah,
the season.
yeah.
I would have said Georgia and Michigan wins.
I said Georgia, Michigan, Georgia wins, but so pretty
Of
close.
course.
Yeah, I would probably say same. Georgia beats Michigan, so
How about this though? I said this before the season. I still think this. I think Notre Dame's going to make the playoffs.
really,
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're going to beat USC. I think they'll beat Clemson. I think they got a really good team.
yeah.
What's your expectations? Let me ask you guys this. We got one more game for week 1. What do y'all think of Duke and Clemson?
I think Clemson will win
Tomorrow.
that matchup just because.
Yeah.
I just don't think Duke stands a chance against them. Clemson mostly beats Duke most of the time, so I've got Clemson winning that one.
Yeah, I think Clemson's going to push Duke around in the trenches, and it should be a pretty easy game. I mean, it might be close after a quarter or two, kind of like the Georgia Tech game was last year, but Clemson should, they're a way more talented team. They should win pretty easily.
Yeah,
I think
Georgia.
with Garrett Riley at the offensive coordinator position, I think they find their firepower again.
I do too, and that's why I also got them in the playoffs. Yeah, that's my 4 teams.
Wait, so you're saying that you think Clemson's going to make it to the playoffs?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I possibly don't see that happening. I mean, they could, but.
Well, I said that before the season, but I still think that.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think they lose to Notre Dame, like I said, again, but I do think they'll beat Florida State. They'll beat Florida State again, and I think they'll beat everybody else. South Carolina, all that.
Yeah. South
You
Carolina
think they'll
actually
be?
beat
Hold
Clemson
on.
last year.
Pause. Jacob, after
What?
what you just saw from Florida State tonight, you think that Clemson's going to beat them twice?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
mean, okay, Clemson's still the more talented team. They're still better in the trenches. I mean,
They are.
they should, I mean, I don't think the matchup of Clemson's running backs versus Florida State's linebackers. I mean, Clemson's still going to win that. I mean, yeah, FSU has some good wide receivers, but Clemson's got some. They got some really good DBs, and I, the defensive line is still really good for them. I mean, and they beat them with DJ last year, so that now they got an upgraded quarterback too, and yeah, I think Clemson beats them again.
Okay. I mean, it's not a really bad take. It's
And
just
the main
like
thing, the main thing.
I'm telling you, I'm high on FSU this year, man.
I get it, but
Yeah.
I think the main thing is Clemson's got more depth, and over time in the game, they should, be able to, play better than Florida State. I think, but we'll see. Did FSU play better in this game than I thought they would tonight? Yes. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But LSU also played worse than I thought they would. It was close throughout the game. LSU just kind of, gave up. So
Now
Yeah.
let me ask y'all this. We talk about this Clemson game tomorrow night. It's going to be good. I'm going to be working, so I'm, only going to see little bits of it. But I'm going to say this. What happens if Duke pulls a major upset tomorrow night? Does Duke take it to possibly an ACC title?
No,
I don't know about that.
Or
if
is it just a choke job by Clemson?
it would probably be I mean, well, it depends how the game goes, but it'll probably be a choke job by Clemson, more than likely, I think. You know, Duke. I don't think Duke's gonna. No, I don't think that's gonna happen. I know
Yeah,
Pittsburgh. I know Pitt won that one year, but that's because Florida State, Miami, and Clemson were down that year. The traditional programs. Now, two of them are really good, so I don't think that's gonna happen.
yeah, me either.
Yeah. Well, it is late here. I don't want to be on too long, but final words and overall thoughts on this game. Let's start with AIP.
Are you talking about the Clemson Duke game?
How about we do both Florida State, LSU final thoughts, and then final thoughts and prediction for tomorrow night?
Um, my final thoughts on that game is got pretty ugly. I think it's kind of I think it's very embarrassing for LSU. Hopefully for the LSU fans, hopefully they'll get better possibly. And my prediction for Clemson Duke, um, I think it's gonna be a beatdown. I think Clemson is gonna beat Duke pretty good. I think Clemson beats Duke for my prediction. For my score prediction for Clemson Duke, I think it'll be Clemson 45 and Duke 21. So that's my final thoughts on both of those games.
Okay.
But
Jacob?
anyways, I'll go ahead and leave. So thanks for having me on the stream, Ballard. So
Anytime, buddy. Thank you.
Oh yeah, if I'm being completely honest with you, you know, I'm kind of only watching the Clemson Duke game because it's the only game on. I don't think it's gonna be that close. That this Clemson's got too much talent. 45-14 Clemson. Uh, so that's pretty much what I gotta say about tomorrow's game. But for tonight's game, uh, Florida State outplayed them, outcoached them, and you know, the wide receivers can't really, to be honest with you, they kind of won the game for Florida State, and switching to that, you know, those outside, the outside run game, zone block and all that. That's kind of won the game for Florida State. Pass rush also got better throughout the game. LSU's got to go back to the drawing boards because they had some people picking them for the national title this year. I guess you could lose another game, but especially because this is not an SEC game. So if they lose another one and they can make the SEC title with one SEC loss and beat Georgia, which I don't think is going to happen, but it's possible, I guess, and make the playoffs. But yeah, the LSU they can't play like this. If they show up and play like this against some of the other SEC teams, that
Yep.
I,
I'm going to say for tomorrow night's game, final thoughts on LSU Florida State. Like I said, I'm jumping on that bandwagon, that train for Florida State this season, man. I really believe they're that good of a team. I don't want to take anything away from LSU. They played everything they got. I just think it was one of those where Florida State was a little bit better tonight and more prepared in the game. As far as tomorrow goes, Clemson and Duke. I'm going to take Clemson 24-14. I think there's going to be some good defense on both sides, but I think it comes down to the offense. I like the Garrett Riley hire at Clemson. Cade Klubnik, I think, has potential. I am curious and questioned about the receivers, but I think they still got Will Shipley at running back, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm sure they'd be okay. I mean, it's Dabo Swinney we're talking about. You say whatever you want to about his attitude and maybe how he goes about situations. We make jokes about him crying and complaining, but you cannot deny he's a good coach and he's going to have his team ready.
Actually, I'll go 45-17. But you know what I am looking forward to though?
What?
I'm looking for the burnt. I'm looking forward to the burnt orange jerseys to drag the crimson and red all around the field next Saturday on national TV.
Oh my
That's
god!
okay.
You
Okay.
really think they? I mean, I think they can,
Okay.
but
Okay. Hold on. Hold on. I was
do you
joking. I
really
was
think
joking.
they will?
I'm joking. I was joking.
Okay, okay.
I think Texas can win by 10 or 14 or something like that, maybe even 17. But you know, I I I'm excited for the game for real though. I am. I really am excited for the game. Uh, and I do think Texas will win by a good bit. Maybe
Yeah,
not drag them all over the field, but
yeah. Hey, real quick, Jacob. I don't want to be on here too much longer. I'm gonna let you go. I got someone in the back that I really want to talk to.
who is it the guy from last time?
Waylon.
Oh, okay, Waylon. Yeah, he's a Bama fan, right?
Yeah, good dude.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll go ahead and add him on, but we won't be on here too much longer. Waylon, Alabama is back. How you feeling?
I hadn't caught you in a couple of weeks. I just thought I'd hop on here and say, what's going on, man? It's good to hear you again.
Oh yeah, it's good to be back on here, man. I've been working hard at my job, and it's kind of funny. I was at work during the Saturday games, and I'll be back this Saturday, so I'll kind of miss a little bit of Alabama and Texas, but I know this team is really strong, and they'll find a way to get it done. I'm sure.
Yeah, y'all was just LSU game. I don't understand. I mean, um, uh, what the referees was doing and what Florida State gave the ball game away just about to LSU and they couldn't win it. But I think Brian Kelly's got what's stuck in his mind is he beat Alabama on a fourth down call last year, and he thinks he can beat everybody that way. Well, I mean, that's not
Yeah,
going to.
I think they went for it a little too much. I mean, the first time okay, but after that they should have started kicking some field goals. I think.
You're leaving 10 points on the scoreboard easy,
Yeah.
easy. I
Yeah.
mean, 6 points possibly could. I mean, I don't understand what he was doing. Just because I don't care who you beat on the last play, if it's Ole Miss, Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee, you're not going to continuously do that game after game after game. It don't work that way. It don't
Right.
work.
A lot of coaches do go fourth down all the time. I'd go for it, sometimes, like, on the goal line, like 2 yards away, a situation like that. But I wouldn't do it nonstop because field. Do really help you.
I don't
I
know,
mean,
man.
taking the 3 points is not, it's not always a bad thing.
They're just
It's better than no points, and that's fair.
Exactly. That's how I look at it. Like when he went for it on 4th and 3, I was like, okay, now let's cool the Jets here.
yeah. I mean, FSU's got a way better team, and give credit for too.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick them for the ACC. I'm locking that in. I think they could. I'm telling you, they could take this pretty far. I'll be honest. I know that Alabama defense too, man, is like it's gonna carry them far. And let me ask you, since we got you on here, Waylon, how about Jalen Milrow yesterday?
Well, that's what I said before FSU played. I said I think they still boil down to I may have told you this, FSU and Clemson. I think that's what it'll boil down to. But Milroe, I mean, Milroe done a great job. I mean, you can tell he's put a lot of hard work in since last year. And I mean, how many times do you bobble a how many times do you bobble a ball and pick it up and run in the end zone? That's sort of like going for fourth down. I mean, usually
Right.
that usually goes the wrong way. The other team usually gets the ball, but he done it. He has the ability to do that. But like I said last year, Bryce Young had a lot of opportunities to run for 10 and 15 yards, and the middle of the field was wide open. If I'd have been his offensive coordinator, I would have told him, I don't want you to run in there between guys that weigh 300 pounds because you're going to get hurt. But if you've got 10, 15 yards of wide open field and you can slide down like a baseball player, you best be running.
You know what I think happened yesterday? And I could be wrong. I think Nick Saban, like, yes, Tommy Rees is going to be the play caller and everything, but I think Nick Saban and Tommy Rees looked at Jalen and said, "Let's just let you get comfortable
Yeah.
and take control of your game. Like, this is your time. This is your moment. This is
No.
your game." And they just let him run that offense like a quarterback should. I know
Warm-up
that's how it
game.
works in the NFL. You don't see that much in college, and he ran it really well.
Bryce wouldn't run. Bryce wouldn't run. Everybody saw that last year. He wouldn't do it. He just
He'd
wouldn't run.
do it. He'd do it every now and then, but he
I
wouldn't
mean,
do it.
go back and
Not
watch. Go back and watch all the games. The first downs he left, he could have ran and didn't do it. Versus what he
Yeah.
done.
he was a little hesitant. He was a pass first QB.
Oh yeah, I mean but you're not asking him to go in there like I said, go in there and go on the wad with all them 300-pound guys and get hurt when you got a wide open field as fast as he was. Man, you got to bucket down the field. You got to get. But anyway, I mean, what was impressive to me this weekend, and I'll get off here, Chris, was Ole Miss scoring 73 points and Oregon scoring 81 points. What do y'all think about that?
I mean,
Explosive
like I,
offenses. I mean,
I mean, like
that's
I said, like I said earlier, yeah, it's good and all that, but to be honest with you, a lot of teams could do that. So for Ole Miss and Oregon to do that, to be honest, it doesn't really mean that much to me.
I wouldn't say a lot of teams could do that as much as I would say look at who they had to play. I mean,
Well, I mean, teams.
I want to see it be that explosive. It doesn't have to be 80 points for Oregon again, but when you play the Washingtons and USC's down the road, can your offenses match up with them?
Right.
Well, it's just like teams around Ole Miss and Oregon's level. There's a lot of. I mean, yeah, I do think there's a lot of teams that could score 70 and 80 if they wanted to. They just don't. I mean, yes, it's impressive, but to me, it doesn't mean that much. If
And
Vanderbilt were to do it, then yeah, okay, But Ole Miss and Oregon, that
a lot
doesn't
of
mean that
points.
much to me.
A lot
A
of
lot of
points.
points, though.
A lot of points. When you go to scoring 80 and 70 some points on these, Division two teams, it's impressive to me. But I mean, I got to eat crow on Coach Prime. I mean, he took TCU down. So
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I thought Colorado. I thought they were gonna have a bright future, but I thought the first season, you know, 5-7, 6-6. But hey, they're
TCU,
look
TCU,
really good.
TCU will never see another playoff game in the rest of their college history.
Yeah,
They'll be in the playoff. They got in the playoff last year on luck, and they got the shit beat out of them. Alabama would have beat the crap out of them. Whoever they played in the Final Four would have beat the crap out of them, and we all know that. And they didn't belong there, but they got taught a lesson. They'll never be back again. They'll never be back.
Well,
Now, they're
Colorado. Colorado improves in the trenches. They'll be something in the future, and they could make the playoffs, especially with it being 12 teams. Them, especially Coach Prime and all that. I'm excited to see what they do.
I don't know. Anyway, how many? I got to get off here. How many games y'all think Colorado win? And I'll get off here. What What do y'all think? How many do they
I'm
go?
going to say I just don't know about them going 500 this year, so I'm going to stick to like 4.
Really?
Yeah,
4-8?
I mean, I like them against TCU, but they are going to have to run into, like I said, the USC's, the UCLA's, the Oregons,
But
the
there's a couple of teams they can beat though. I mean, they also play Arizona and Washington State and
yeah.
all that. I mean, they're playing Nebraska next week. I bet they win that game.
Yeah, Minnesota.
I'm
But
going to say I'll say below 500, but I'll put them at 5. How's that?
I not for me. I got 7-8 games.
I'm going 6. I'm gonna say 6. Easy.
Okay.
Okay.
Shador Sanders, he might be he looks like an elite quarterback, and he's definitely got the potential to be that. Wow, impressive.
Yeah, but how long is the Heisman committee going to leave Bo Nix out of it? Bo Nix should have been in the Heisman Trophy running last year. If he does what he does this year, more than what he does, are they going to snub him again?
I picked him to win it this year. I I think he's gonna win it. That's who I got as my Heisman winner. One of the reasons why he didn't win it last year is because he got hurt. That's why.
Well, yeah, I did. But I agree with you. I think he wins if he keeps doing what he's doing. I think I think he sneaks up there by the middle of the season. He's number one guy, probably more likely.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn, they didn't give him enough help.
Nah, they didn't. But Auburn. Well, one thing about Hugh Freeze, I watched Saturday, and like I said, I got to go. Auburn scares me a little bit. They're not that scary, but Auburn has 2 quarterbacks that can play. They
Yeah,
show that play.
yeah.
So
And, speaking of, they just got the top offensive guard commit today in 2024.
I mean, I don't know, man. We got to go to Auburn. I mean, it's you got 2 quarterbacks that can. I mean, Thorne, he looked good, and then now they're Ashford. What is it? What they nickname him? Red Zone Robbie. He ran three touchdowns with his feet. Robbie Ashford did. So I mean,
Actually, I picked them to actually beat y'all this year.
they might. I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen at Jordan. I mean, Alabama's got to. If Alabama
Yeah.
comes out dominating, if Alabama could beat Texas by at least 3 touchdowns, you got some problems in front of you the rest of the year. If Alabama stay healthy, they can beat a lot of. And you
Oh
probably look.
yeah.
You probably look at another Alabama Georgia showdown in the SEC championship, because I ain't saying this because Georgia's good, because it's Georgia. The West is as weak as the ACC is, except for Georgia.
Yeah. You mean the East?
Yeah, the East. I'm sorry, the East.
Yeah.
The East is as weak as the ACC. If you took Georgia out of the East, what would you have?
Yeah. Yeah. You got a good point. I mean, South Carolina, Tennessee. That's.
And they predicted South Carolina to beat y'all. I told everybody South Carolina's always been South Carolina. They'll sneak around and beat a few teams they don't supposed to every 10 years, and then they just go away and you never hear nothing else about them.
Sounds about right.
I mean, I told Chris that. I mean, the truth has reared its ugly head, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, South Carolina. I don't think they're gonna beat us. I mean, they gave 9 sacks. I mean,
No.
geez, North Carolina -2 rushing yards against Georgia's front. That's just not gonna do
No,
much at all.
no. South Carolina's not beating y'all, man. South Carolina couldn't beat y'all if Georgia didn't even get off the bus. But anyway, good show, Chris. And I might throw. I mean, I don't know. Could you throw another team in the ACC besides Clemson and LSU? You got one more. You might think it's a 3-team race. Who would it be?
It'd have to be UNC. I don't know. Did y'all see Georgia Tech
Yeah,
this week?
yeah, they lost.
Yeah, they
Oh, I
lost.
thought they won that game.
They
No,
should.
they lost.
Yeah,
They should have won.
yeah, they should have won. You think North Carolina's in there with them too? I think they are too. Don't you?
Yeah,
I think so.
North Carolina's got a shot. They impressed me. You know, I'll say that they impressed me.
Well, they shut
Mac,
up the South. They shut up the South Carolina fans for another year anyway.
yeah, I mean Mac Brown's a really good coach too. He's a great coach, so that they got that.
He got Gene Chiswick up there with him too on defense too.
Yeah, you know. Uh,
So anyway, but anyway,
but,
y'all have a good one, Chris. Y'all be safe, and we'll see you down the road again when you pop on there. Maybe you won't have. They won't work. Tell them guys quit working you to death so much, man.
See you around, Waylon. Thanks,
All
buddy.
right,
Roll Tide.
y'all
all
have a
right,
good. Be
all
safe,
right.
man.
See ya. Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good night. Wow, man, I'm glad college football's back.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I'm glad LSU Florida State playing because, well, honestly, it was a weak schedule this week, which was really disappointing for week one.
Yeah.
Dogs for 3-peat, I guess. You tired?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Trying to stay awake a little bit.
What'd you think about Florida Utah?
I thought it was a pretty interesting game. We were actually live for it.
Yeah, Florida just man that I knew their offensive line wasn't going to be that good, but golly, they ruined the whole game.
Yeah.
I mean, their wide receivers played good. The running backs played, you know, they didn't have much help, but they did what they could. Graham Mertz even played good, especially for his standards. And I just the play calling wasn't that good. Oh yeah, I've reached the subject now. Billy Napier.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida's just not coached well right now. That's just true. And the fact that we can already see it is very concerning. Uh, it's almost like Billy Napier's bipolar. You know, one week this is what I'm trying to say though. You know, one week he play calls a great game. The next week he play calls a terrible game. You know, one drive he'll play call great. The next week he'll play call terrible. You know, it's the same thing with coaching. You know, it's just I don't know. It's Billy play calling is bipolar. And bipolar is just not going to do good enough to do what Florida wants to do, which is win the SEC and win a national title eventually. That's
Yeah.
not what they're looking for this year, but that's what they want to do. That's their standard. It's a tough standard. That's why coaches get fired usually.
Yeah.
You know. I think Florida gets a little bit too cute sometimes. To be honest with you, with their play calling, they get a little bit too. They do too much sometimes. It's like relax.
Well, anyways, man, I'm gonna end it here. I appreciate you
I
coming
mean,
on, buddy. And
they hired a 29-year-old defensive coordinator who
yeah.
ran man coverage on the 5-yard line with no quarterback spot. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I know you're about to end it, so I'll
Yeah.
hurry up. Appreciate the stream. I might come on. Hopefully, I'll come on again. I definitely want to talk about the Texas Alabama game when we get the chance to. I think that I'm really excited for that, and the other games next week. I'm looking forward to that game, like seriously, because we're gonna see what Texas and Alabama are really made of.
Oh
Both have
yeah.
both have questions, both have a lot of potential. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. Where's that? What's his name? Where's that other guy been? The guy I got into
Who?
a phone feud with.
I don't even remember who it was.
It was an Alabama fan. That's all I know. Has he been on lately?
I don't think so.
So he just stopped by and stopped coming on.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll see him again. Yeah, but I know you're trying to end the stream, man. So that's pretty much all I got to say. And can't wait to see George win a third championship in a row. That'll be nice.
Whatever.
Three-peat.
Kirby ain't
No.
that man.
Oh yeah. Oh, come on. Come on now. He's the goat. That's what he is.
The GOAT.
The current goat. Yeah. How about that?
No.
What do you
All right,
mean,
man.
no?
I said yeah.
Oh yeah. I was like, yeah. See you later, man. Though go Dogs, and everybody have a good night. Going for the three-peat. So see y'all.
Yeah. See you, man. All right. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Waylon, for coming on. I think Paxton came on. So we're going to end it here. Great game tonight. Great weekend for college football. I love y'all. Jesus loves you. He's got a great plan. We'll see you next time. Roll Tide.